I played Silver Palace. I played a lot of Silver Palace. I didn't want to push too far through it. I didn't finish everything because I didn't want to spoil myself. There have been a lot of changes between this version and the previous beta. I'm assuming with there potentially being a future beta, there are going to be changes made between the second and the third as well. What I wanted to do was do a dedicated video going over my general thoughts, having played it, having streamed it for dozens of hours. The changes, what I think about the game, the gacha, the characters, the story, the voice acting, everything. If you're interested in potentially getting into the next beta, if you're interested in Silver Palace at all, go down, click that sponsor link, pre-register for the game. This one is going to be big, trust me. Let's start off with the intro. I think that's the most important part. This version of the beta had a phenomenal intro. It had the dual main character system, the two protagonists. You could choose to play as either the male or the female, and then the story would play out from their individual perspective. They were both on screen at the same time. They were both coexisting in the same world. They both have their own personalities, which is really, really cool. You end up ultimately only playing as one at present. I don't know if somewhere down the line they're going to overlap and then the other character becomes playable. I'm not going to spoil anything pertaining to the story specifically, but at the very least, the character, the gender of the two siblings you choose at the beginning is the one you play through at the very least. The intro from the perspective of. The boss fight was insane. Like, what a banger way to start off and introduce you to the game. The voice acting, the music, the entire thematic presentation blew my freaking mind. Then we got into the combat specifically, where you're fighting the big boss, and then after the intro, you know, you're introduced to the world, and then you get multiple different characters. And the combat is so much fun. I think it has been improved since the original beta. I thought it was pretty good in the original beta, but I thought there was, I think, too much of a focus or an emphasis on the parry, and that there wasn't enough outside of the parry system to really warrant difficulty, to warrant learning the mechanics or the cycle of boss attacks or the telegraphing of boss attacks or anything. But this version still has a very large emphasis on parry, and if you're a parry god, you're gonna have no issue. But it also allowed for you to more easily integrate each different character's unique abilities into the combat itself, so you weren't as heavily reliant or overly reliant on the parrying. It let you fight and actually utilize each character's individual strengths and weaknesses. So it is, I think, quite significantly better than the first beta's combat system. The world itself is beautiful. Like, genuinely, it is beautiful. There's nothing I dislike about the world. You can traverse it on foot. You can traverse it on ground mount. You can traverse it on a flying mount. That's awesome. Like, full aerial flight and exploration. You can scale buildings, you can scale mountain, anything that you see, you could theoretically get to the top of, either through grappling, through other means, other interactive environmental means, or just by flying up on your horse. Or that is if the horse is the only mount available. There may be other ones in the future. The world is populated, densely populated, with a lot of NPCs, a lot of werewolf creatures, with various different boss fights that you'll encounter out in the world. Some of them are quite challenging. Some of them are like anthropomorphic creatures. Some of them are, you know, like legendary mythological creatures. And you have, there's one boss fight in specific that I went into, and he hit me so hard he killed all 4 of my team members. Yeah, that wasn't fun. I didn't know a boss could hit you so hard he could KO the 3 party members that hadn't even been deployed yet. That is how cool and fun this game's gameplay is, and how fun and rewarding this game's boss fights are. There's a lot to do out in the world outside of just the basic combat. You can explore it, open treasure chests, you can find side quests. There is a functional racing system that you unlock through Gracia's quest. Oh my god, is it fun. It is difficult. It is really freaking difficult, but it is so much fun. I ultimately did it with Gracia because I feel like, you know, like narratively, she is the right choice here, and she's just the hottest character in the game, so how can you not? But man, that was such a fun minigame. There was no like car racing. Instead, you're horse racing against a bunch of other people. This needs to be expanded on. This was so much fun. I love races, and I love horse races specifically, so this was just brilliantly done. Then we have the characters themselves, because I did note Gracia. Damn, dude. The characters look flawless. Genuinely, there are so many of them that just look incredible and play incredibly, because they all have their own unique, distinct combat styles. Just the aesthetic of the, like, Gracia specifically, I mean, she's a 10 out of 10. And the fact that when we're at Anime Expo, we also got footage with her, both my wife, Mrs. Stix, and I, the cosplayer for her, like, that made her my favorite character. There are multiple characters in the game that just look beyond flawless. The Doctor, I'm not going to spoil things. You all get to experience this in real time yourselves, but the cast of characters that they have managed to design are going to genuinely blow your mind. Then we have the story itself and how the characters are integrated into the story. The story probably has one of the best introductions to a game world that I have seen in a game of its respective kind. It is fast, it is fluid, it feels great, it's well paced. There isn't, like a ton of exposition. It's just it has built the foundations of something truly fun and enjoyable. And then you add into the fact that the voice acting is absolutely stellar. They have managed to bring every part of this to life, to enthrall you into story right from the beginning. We're not talking, drawn out, long, skip-worthy narrative. No, we're talking about something that takes a couple minutes and you're thrown into action. You do your detective work, you explore with twists and turns and death and destruction. And it's all very, very cool. I genuinely did enjoy. I played through several chapters, but I genuinely do enjoy everything I played through. There wasn't a single point in the story where I was like, okay, wait, no. Well, there was with the little reporter kid. Other than that, there was very little I disliked about the story, especially I think the expression on characters' faces and their physical expression, their physical actions. It added so much flair and personality to the respective characters. Then we have the detective system, which is kind of interwoven with the story, where you'll hit certain points in the story where you need to make use of your detective skills, where you deduce various different things, you find evidence, you piece things together like it's a puzzle, and then it comes, like everything you have done and learned comes to fruition. It is accumulated and condensed into this beautifully presented cinematic experience. You go through this, I think, in every single chapter. And I think it along with the fact that you can kind of analyze different NPCs out in the world, you can see their likes or dislikes and who they are and what they do. I think all of these add so much depth and complexity to the game and to its systems. You acquire all the characters through the gacha system. The gacha is actually honestly not bad. I do like the 100 guarantee that's present. It is essentially a spark system, so you go from 0 pulls to 100, and then at the 100 pull, you're guaranteed the limited banner character. The guarantee carries over between banners, which means if you get 83 pulls through it and you don't get the character, then the next limited banner that pops up, you will get within 17 pulls guaranteed. I like that. It adds essentially a safety net if you don't hit the 100 guarantee, or if you start pulling and then you realize you actually want a different character. I am curious how many characters total are going to be added to the limited pool if you're going to have like the option to get the limited banner character along with like 7, 8, or 10 other characters as more characters are introduced into the game, or if characters are instead going to be added into like the standard pool. I think there are a lot of options here to expand on the gacha. There are gacha games that released recently that have actually done really well with their gacha systems, and I think I know that this is a beta test and these exist with which to accumulate and acquire feedback from their players, and I don't want this video to just be here just purely glazing the game, because I thoroughly enjoyed almost every part of it. But there is the opportunity to improve the gacha. Maybe reduce the 100 guarantee down to 190. Maybe make it easier to acquire the characters. Maybe make the acquisition of pull currency easier. There are multiple things you could do. I do want to provide that feedback because I think it is important to be genuine and honest with you guys. my viewers, and also to, I think, provide the opportunity here for the company to show that they're listening to their community and their players, that they're listening to feedback, and that they're willing to implement feedback to make the game better, to make the game more enjoyable, to make the game more friendly to its players. Because right now, you get a ton of pulls, the currency acquisition is good, the guaranteed 100 is very good, but at the same time, things can be better. Things can be more friendly to players, which isn't to say that I disagree with it or I dislike it. I'm just providing some very simple feedback here. Ultimately, I think this game is beyond fun. There isn't really anything I dislike about it. I've had fun doing every single thing I possibly can in it. And let me tell you, I am going to be a day one player without a shadow of a doubt. I'm gonna play the hell out of this game until I'm done with it. It's that simple. Again, if you're interested in playing the next beta test or pre-registering for the game, you can do so by clicking that sponsor link down below. See you guys in the next beta. I know you think that you just hit the end of the video, and technically, yeah, you have. And I know your first reaction is to close out of it at this juncture, but don't. No, instead, I urge you to take a moment here and click one of the videos on screen that are coming up in just a moment so you remain up to date with everything going on in the gacha genre. Trust me, you're not going to regret doing so. Stay flaccid.